Phenibut alternative. Anybody in this community had any success with finding or coming up with any herbal/nootropic stacks that have had a very similar effect to a high dose of Phenibut? I really enjoy the effects that Phenibut allows me to have, such as social fluidity, inhibitions, and charismatic tendencies, all the while being able to keep a sharp mind. However, I really resent the fact that I can only use it once, at most twice, a week to avoid tolerance, withdrawal symptoms, and a crappier mood. The idea of finding an herbal supplement or stack that would allow me to have all of the benefits of Phenibut, with less of the cons, sounds like a dream come true. I don't have a direct answer to your question for a single substance, but I alternate through a bunch of various substances on a special schedule. Sunday, Phenibut. Monday, piracetam. Tuesday, rhodiola. Wednesday, oxiracetam. Thursday, aniracetam. Friday and Saturday is beer and kratom time. The following week is always offline until Friday, where the beer is waiting in the fridge. I realized that my cognitive performance and my mood became much better even in the off week. The substances can be varied, of course. I tried also alpha GPG, L-theanine, DLPA, L-tyrosine, and whatever, but they do not give me what I expect to get from it. Are you taking caffeine as well? I take an aniracetam, but I've never thought about putting it in a rotation. I'm mainly doing it for the anxiolytic benefits, so I'm surprised to hear someone using oxiracetam, if that's what you're using it for. I do try to stick to a rotation too, with kava and kratom. For some reason, Phenibut is just one of the ones that really seems to help a lot more than others. Besides beer, I don't use this stuff for anxiolytic reasons. I just go for increased mental performance combined with fun. Sure do I use caffeine, but in the old school way of drinking coffee and green tea every day. I do this since ages, therefore I don't mention it. I rotate the racetams, because I realized if I take one a few days in a row, they lose their force. By the way, I'm a low doser, so 800mg of pira, 500mg of oxy and ani, 500mg of Phenibut, always just one dose per day. Kratom I'm on 2 to 3 times a day, 1 gram. It's not nearly an alternative to a high dose of Phenibut, but you should still look into CBD as it may help, and will also keep you clear-headed. You might also want to look into Phenibut. It has a shorter duration, so I've been able to use it every 3 days without any rebound, like I would get from regular Phenibut at that schedule. Other gabapentinoids like baclofen and gabapentin might be worth looking into. They seem to be more forgiving and less prone to rebounds and withdrawal from spaced out or short-term use, and I believe both are unscheduled although they are prescription. Just don't try to use them on top of Phenibut as you'll run into problems, as they are very similar drugs that have a cross-tolerance/dependence. And I saw you mention kratom and kava in another comment, which are both great choices. I think kratom is the best alternative out there. With kava I don't know how it would affect Phenibut as they both affect GABA, but kava seems to be a very atypical GABAergic drug, so I would think it would be fine. This is super helpful. I was actually just looking into Phenibut and noticed that being one of the benefits of that over regular Phenibut, which is a big deal for me because for some reason I'm really sensitive to the rebounders of Phenibut even after one dose. Granted, I have to take about 2 to 3 grams to really get the benefits. Thanks for the info. I don't think anything herbal will ever come close to high dose Phenibut, but ashwagandha, KSM66 especially, is interesting and one I'm experimenting with. I think kratom is one of the few things that can come close, but you won't find much that does. It's also a bit different and isn't going to have quite as strong of an anti-anxiety effect, but it's good, at least for me.